One of the best features of Google Drive is the ability to easily share documents and files with other people from your Google Drive. Today, in part one of Google Drive Share Settings, we're going to take a look at the basics of sharing your Google Drive files. In part two, we will look at a few more advanced features. Before we get started, I want to go over a couple of the sharing basics. When you create a new document, it's defaulted to private, meaning you are the only person that can see and access this document. This is true until you make changes to that file or the folder that it's stored in. There are multiple share settings once you share it. You can share it with others so that they can view, meaning they can't make any changes. They can comment but not edit what you've done or give them full editing permissions. So let's take a look at how we do this. I'm going to start by looking at a Google document, and you'll notice up here in the upper right hand corner there's a share button. Right now, when I hover over it, you'll see that it says private to only me, meaning no one else can see this document. I'm going to click on it, and there's a couple different ways you can share. So if I wanted to share this document with one of my coworkers, I could enter their name. I could give them a message, such as if I wanted them to help with the plan. Please help with this plan. And this way, if I'm going to share it, I want Amy to be able to edit this document. We're going to work together on it. If I click this little drop down here, you'll notice that there's a couple different options I could pick. If I wanted to share this and only allow her to view it, I would make it so that she was a viewer. This would allow her to just look at the document, not make any changes to the document that I own. She could create her own copy, but couldn't change mine. If she's a commenter, that means that she's able to add comments kind of on the side of my document, but can't mess with my original document. And then as an editor, she's able to completely change my document as well so that we could work together. You can choose if I'm going to notify her so she'll get an email that I'm sharing it with her, or you can turn it off so that she won't get a notification that I've shared it with her. I'm going to go ahead and click share. So now I'm going to come back up here. You'll notice that it's shared with one other person. When I hover over it, I can open it and see, and I'll see that I'm still the owner, but Amy is the editor. Now, if there's some reason I wanted to change this, I could just do a drop down, make her a viewer or commenter. I could even give her just temporary access to comment or view only. I could make her the owner, and then I could also remove her so that she's not able to see or edit the file as well. Looking up here at the little settings wheel, this is when we're sharing with individual people. You can click on it and you'll see a few more options. So I'm going to open this. Right now, editors can change the permissions and share this file with other people. If I didn't want them to be able to share my file with other people, I would uncheck this. Viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. If I didn't want the people that I'm letting view this to be able to download it, print, or make copies of the file, I would uncheck this to prevent that from happening as well. So those are a few more little things that you can change while you're setting this. Now, if I wanted to share this by a link, let's say I wanted to share this link out to my class, I would come down here and I could copy the link. Right now, you can see that it's shared with Flagler County Schools. That means anybody in Flagler County Schools can view this, but if it's somebody that isn't signed into their Flagler County Schools account, they wouldn't be able to see it. Or if I had embedded this in Schoology, they wouldn't be able to see it because Schoology isn't Flagler County Schools. To change this, I'll click where it says Share with Flagler County Schools, and you'll see that there's several options. I can make it restricted, meaning myself and only the individuals I've given access to, such as Amy, could see it. By checking here, anyone in Flagler County Schools can search for it and see it. And by checking here, anyone with the link is able to access it. So if I wanted to change this to anyone with a link, I could click here. It's going to update it. Go ahead and copy this link, and then I'm able to paste that link where I want to share it with. I'll show you a few more things you can do with it in part two. And we'll go ahead and click done. So that's just a quick overview on how you would set your share settings within a document. This would be the same for Google Slides and Google Sheets. You can also make these settings from your Google Drive. So if you had a document, such as this is my file, if I wanted to share this with others, I could right click on it, you'll notice that the share setting comes up here. It's the same exact things that we had before. You can also come down to an individual file and make those same settings as well. So if you highlight a file or a folder, you'll notice that up here you can click on the little share settings, and this would actually change the settings for everything in that folder. And we'll get into a little bit more details on that in part 2. So hopefully this kind of helped you with the basics of understanding how you can share the different files in Google Drive.